Chapter 1. Harriot Puddleton raced her horse Nightshade through the thickets. Her small body leaned forward over his long floating mane, and in her tiny hands she held his reins with expert ease. The horse was very large, with a coat that shone like fine satin. His tail was incredibly long and lustrously thick as it trailed in the wind behind them. The rider lay low over the horse's shoulders, her legs tucked snugly either side. Her hair had been torn from its confines to fly loose with the wind as they raced through the familiar woodlands. Harry's soft laughter filled the surrounding hillsides. Her enjoyment could be heard floating on the still morning air. With the slightest touch of her knee, the large horse turned and headed toward the fallen moss-covered tree trunk. Without even the slightest of hesitation, he glided smoothly through the air over the large hurdle, landing with perfect precision on the open grassland on the other side. Down the side of the sloping hillside they raced at breakneck speed. They darted and dived between the sparse large trees and onwards towards the little brook that signalled the end of their flight and their freedom. Bringing the horse to a standstill, she stroked his neck with delight-filled pleasure. "Oh, Nightshade, that was wonderful!" Exhilarated, she leaned forward and rested her small body on the horse's powerful shoulders. "I wish this day would never end." Stretching her arms forward, she stroked the horse's broad chest. Nightshade threw his head in the air and snorted loudly. The metal links of his harness rattled repeatedly. "How am I going to get myself out of this one, my friend?" she asked of the horse sadly. "Now that Emily is almost settled, Mother will have nothing better to do than to turn her supposed good intentions towards me. She'll set her sights on finding me a husband next. I don't want to be found a husband." She sighed deeply, showing her frustration. "I want to find my own husband. I want to be able to choose the man I will spend the rest of my life with, not my parents." A second sigh escaped, and it was deep and long and heartfelt. Closing her eyes, she lay still for a few moments longer. Sensing all was not well with his mistress, the large horse stepped sideways, lifted his head, and shook his dark mane with rough determination. His actions disturbed the rider from her reverie. "I agree, my friend." She chuckled softly as she brought her body upright. "I shall not ponder what I cannot change. It is too nice a day to worry about what tomorrow may bring." Feeling the raw power of the horse begin to build beneath her small body, she once again took a firm hold of the reins. Dancing sideways, Nightshade pranced in a circular motion as he begged for more. Her laughter rang out to fill the small glen. "Shall we ride to the river to gather our lemon myrtle?" she whispered to the large horse. In reply, Nightshade reared to his hind legs, his forelegs striking the air. In one enormous leap forward, they raced away from the small stony brook and headed towards the river's edge. The hour was early and the birds were loath to leave their nests to sample the brisk coolness of the freshly broken dawn. In the silence of the new day, they headed further downstream, leaving only their hoofprints in the grassy dew-covered ground as they raced onwards. They followed the small, shallow, babbling brook to where it joined the wider, faster-flowing water's course. Following the same path, they continued along the water's edge until it began to widen considerably. Without hesitation, the horse turned and galloped up the sloping hillside to where the vegetation thickened along the hillside's outer edges. Reaching the summit where she knew the brushes to be at their thickest, Harry dismounted, just as the horse came to a standstill.